This is the most fascinating issue that I think you're going to come across, certainly anytime soon. And as we begin to discuss artificial intelligence and alignment and all of these other aspects, it's important for us to understand sort of what is this thing called psychopathy, sociopathy, and the like. And I want to address this with you and tell you the way I think you should approach it and what I think is fascinating and what I think is critical and what I think is important. So listen accordingly. First, I want to talk to you about something which is more important than anything else. Our sponsor, MyPillow. That's right. You might think, what does this have to do with anything? Oh, yeah? What does commerce have to do with anything? What does sleeping have to do with anything? What does one of the best products you can have for pillows, for mattresses, for toppers, for towels and blankets and what? What is it? I'll tell you what it is. You listen to me right now. You listen very carefully. What is it? It's mypillow.com. And you use promo code Lionel. And you will absolutely be so thrilled with the quality, the excellence, the delivery, how quick it is, how fast it's delivered, and how you will sleep 1,000 sleeps. And no, I don't know what that expression means, but it sounds good. We're a MyPillow family, and you will be too. MyPillow.com. Check out the slippers. The slippers they're selling more of than you can imagine, and you'll find out why. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Okay, now listen, let's get down to brass tacks. I was watching some YouTube videos before about what's a sociopath, what's a psychopath, and it's so boring. Let me explain it to you my way. First, I'm not a psychologist. I've got a degree in undergrad. What does that mean? But I've been a lawyer for about, 40 years, and I have been a prosecutor, and I've come into contact with more people in ways that you will never enjoy by virtue of their own criminality and their own behavior that somehow are kind of interlaced. All right? You dig what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Good. And I've met them. So what I'm telling you is the answer that you want to know. First, what is it not? It's not psychotic. Don't use that term psychotic. Psychotic is, I don't know where I am. Psychotic is, I'm hearing things. Psychotic is something completely different. That is schizophrenic. That is hearing voices. That is being, it's a terrible thing, by the way, being disjointed and not having any logic systems. It's horrible. It's just, it's terrible, okay? That being said, let me tell you what's going on here. I want you to think about, first of all, two parts of your brain and your mind. What's the difference? Brain is hardware. The brain is, imagine this is your brain, the actual brain, the cerebrum, the lobes, the prefrontal cortex, the amygdala, all of that stuff. The hardware, okay? But the mind is the software. That's what runs the system. You see, when it comes to the brain, that's neurology. That's something that goes wrong with the actual working. Alzheimer's is a neurological. A stroke, ischemic attack, that's neurological. Something wrong with the actual operating system, most specifically the hardware. But psychiatric problems in psychiatry is software. And those sometimes have to do with things that are, available in normal behavior that are somehow exaggerated, either positive attributes or negative. Positive attributes are things that are accentuated. Grandiosity. Negative symptoms would be being withdrawn, that sort of thing. I don't want to get too much into that. But psychopathy, the psychopath, is more of a behavioral disorder. You can't fix it. You can't see it. And some people say there might be some form of actual structural difference, but that's not what we're talking about. This is software. This is somebody who's normal. This is somebody who doesn't hear voices. Somebody can go to work. Somebody can be very, very successful. Somebody who doesn't, who most probably never gets into trouble, very smart, very glib, doesn't kill anybody. Psychopath doesn't mean killer, though most serial killers, a lot of them are psychopaths. Not all of them aren't. We'll get to that in a moment. By the way, coming up, little spoiler alert, check out my video or my instructional on evil, which is a different story. But in any event, what this is different. And I want to explain it this way. Imagine your head and your heart connected. Your head and your heart. It's your heart that sometimes stops you from doing things, not your head. Your head says, I want to do something. I need that money. I like her. I like that object. I want to dispose of this person. I want to break the law. I want to do whatever. I want to do this. Kind of like the old id. It's the thing that you want to do. You want to do it. The heart is really the part I'm talking about, because that's the emotional part. It's not so much, it's not morality. I don't believe that. Though, and sometimes most of our, quote, morality will override stuff, and we don't really actually consider killing anybody, but for some people, they might. Or stealing. And what you might do is you might say to yourself, you know what? I don't want to do that. Because what if I get caught? Oh my God. What if I get caught? This is more emotional. Think hard. What if I get caught? I'll embarrass my family. I'll go to jail. I'll have to shower with people. Oh my God, I won't be able to get a job. My whole life is ruined. I'll let people down. I'll be embarrassed. oh no, I can't do that. I'm going to stay away from that. I'm afraid. And afraid is your heart. It's your emotion. It's your rational part. Brain part, it's the emotional part. That's what really makes you who you are, not your brain. It's kind of like it's a calculator. But this is more beautiful. This is more beautiful. Let me turn this down. Now, when the two aren't connected, that's when we've got a problem. When you can do something, when your head says, I'm going to do something, and I'm not even going to give it any consideration whatsoever. I'm just going to do it. That's a problem. Now, if you're not going to do anything that is against the law, great. Most people who have psychopathic tendencies don't do anything. But it's a weird thing. It's hard to find out who's a psychopath when they never evince, or they never show, or they never indicate anything that makes you suspect that they're a psychopath in the first place. They normally do something or exhibit something or show a behavior that makes you notice them. Imagine this. I'm a serial killer, but I haven't done it yet. Well, it doesn't mean anything. You have to kill in order to be a serial killer. Yes, but it's a little bit different. I have the potential, but I haven't done it yet. Yes, I know that, but So normally people who have these tendencies, they've done something. That's why you're looking at them. So if somebody's, and by the way, there's the hair protocol. It's this list of all the traits. But I want to give you the best example of what a psychopath really is. And this is why they're the scariest, because their head and heart are not connected. And another thing, they're not able to appreciate consequences. And one of the reasons why they can't appreciate consequences is because their head and heart aren't connected, because they don't see, well, what will happen? I don't know, I'm afraid. Sometimes they're very brave. If you're in the battlefield, somebody says, I'm hit. You say, okay, I'm running out there. Why? Well, he may not be able to appreciate the danger of what he's doing. Not that he's a swell guy, but that he's a kind of a nut who runs out there and does this, and then later on says, oh. Or maybe who plays chess. It doesn't feel anything like, I'm going to lose that queen. I shouldn't be doing that. As opposed to, unless he just wants to win the game for other reasons, to make money or something. But the idea that this emotional part that stops us, this braking system, they don't have. Here's the best example. I love this one. There was a study a while back that involved a group of psychopaths and those who were, and by the way, psychopaths, sociopaths, real simple. Psychopaths are born that way. Sociopaths become that way, either because something happened to them, maybe a war or some trauma. Then they kind of show the traits. But they were okay. This is my version. By the way, if you don't like my version, go someplace else. Psychopath, you're born that way. Okay? Okay. So they told these people, they told these psychopaths, we're going to put this thing on your finger. And this thing is going to give you a little shock at the count of 10. And they put some imaging hardware on their brain to be able to see the colors and the reaction of the brain as they anticipated this shock that was going to be counted down. 10, 9. Well, there was no shock. But the point is they didn't know this. Now, regular people, head and heart are connected. Their head says, this thing's coming up. Heart, emotion, anticipation, nervousness. Ding, 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 ding. Brain works going crazy. Psychopath, nothing. Nothing. It's coming. Mm-hmm. Fear, connection, consequence. That's what's dangerous. But here's the best one. This is the best. Have you ever been watching a movie or watching something and you're so deep into the concentration part of it that all of a sudden something falls off the wall, like a clock or something, and you just jump because you're watching this and you're so nervous by watching this, let's say this horror movie. You just same situation, but you're watching a nature film and you're fascinated. You're not scared. You're absorbed into it. Wow, look at that. Same thing happens. Clock falls off the wall. You don't even budge because you're so engrossed. You're so into what you're seeing. Okay. They took pictures that were horrible, close, shotgun murder, just horrible pictures. And they showed regular people. This is a terrible, I'm paraphrasing this study, but you'll understand. And they're looking at this, oh my God, this is terrible. Oh my God, kind of like watching a horror movie. There's a revulsion. Oh my God. And then all of a sudden, they hit some stadium horn and these people jumped a mile like they were watching something that caused anxiety and tension coupled with this noise. Psychopaths were watching and, oh, it's interesting. Oh, but was it about 12 gauge? Yeah. Ooh, look at that. Boy, that orbit worked. Wow, they took that one out, didn't they? It was like watching a nature thing. Why? Head and heart. They were fascinated by it. There was no emotion. There was no connection. So that when they raised this alarm, no big deal. That's the thing. That's the thing. Now, coming up, I want you to stay with me. I want you to think about this for a moment. It's very, very clinical. There's really nothing special. These people aren't necessarily going to kill anybody or hurt anybody. Just understand the way they react and don't react. Now, coming up, we're going to be talking about things, maybe depending upon when you're seeing this, I'm going to be talking about evil and serial killing and that sort of thing. To just understand, not to sympathize, not to empathize, not to admire, just to understand. That's all. Just understanding this behavior, because you keep hearing, I heard somebody say, Hillary Clinton's a psychopath. She's not a psychopath. You know who might not have been a psychopath either? Many, many people. That German dude with the Chaplin toothbrush mustache, he might not have been a psychopath at all. Psychopath is a word that's overused like conspiracy theory. We're talking about those too. We've lost our sense of what these terms mean. So think about this. Comment below. If you have any questions, let me know. Let's get back. We'll circle back. This stuff fascinates me because you don't understand what normal is unless you understand what abnormal is, and vice versa. So don't forget our friends, my friends. Don't forget My Pillow. Interesting segue, psychopathy pillows. These are non-psychopaths, by the way. But wonderful products. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please make sure you hit that little bell so you'll be notified of new videos and live streams. And comment as you see fit.